When was the last time you saw the global media talk about Malaysia? Yeah, I couldn't remember either, so I decided to find out why. I packed my camera, booked a one-way flight, and said to myself, if the world won't show us Malaysia, I'll show it myself. What I discovered here completely flipped everything I thought I knew about Asia, because the truth is, Malaysia might secretly be one of the safest, most advanced, and most misunderstood countries on Earth. But before we move in, I will love you to subscribe to my channel to reach large audiences if you love my videos as a Malaysian and my besties. Comment, let the video go viral today. Hit that subscribe button. Let's make stories like this impossible for the world to ignore. If you love Malaysia, subscribe to my channel. If you are from Malaysia, write in Malaysia in the comment section. Now, here's what nobody tells you about Malaysia. Part 1. Safer than you think. The first thing that hit me wasn't noise. It was peace. No protests, no chaos. Just people going to work, grabbing breakfast, living life. That's when I checked the numbers. According to the Global Peace Index, Malaysia ranks 13th safest country in the world. Let that sink in. 13th. Safer than the US. 128. Safer than the UK. 30. Safer than South Korea. 41. I walked around Kuala Lumpur at midnight, camera in hand, expecting tension. Instead, families were still eating at open-air stalls, kids laughing, street musicians playing. Nobody looked scared. Nobody cared that I had a camera. Violent crime, rare. Gun ownership, almost zero. Petty theft, surprisingly low for a capital city of 8 million people. I asked a Grab driver, "Do you ever feel unsafe driving nights?" He laughed and said, "Unsafe? Maybe only from your YouTube comments." That's when it hit me. This country doesn't make headlines because it's stable. Peace doesn't sell. Conflict does. So the media zooms in on the loudest neighbors, political chaos in one place, military coups in another, and skips the country that quietly figured out how to keep calm. But here's what I couldn't stop thinking. If Malaysia is this peaceful, how is it also so modern? Because what I saw next completely destroyed every third world stereotype I'd ever heard. Part 2. Third world. No, third wow. Wait, how can a country most people assume is third world have infrastructure that beats many Western cities? Because Malaysia isn't living in the past. It's racing the future. Kuala Lumpur's skyline looks like something straight out of a science fiction movie. High-speed trains slice through lush jungles. Highways glisten like silver ribbons across the land. And when you walk into its malls, it's not chaos. It's choreography. Marble floors, glass elevators, digital billboards the size of buildings. But here's the wild part. This isn't just in the capital. Penang, Johor Bahru, and even smaller cities like Kuching are plugged into a network of modernity. 4G, old news, 5G, everywhere. Cash, you'll barely need it. Even the uncle selling noodles by the roadside probably has touch and go or grab pay. Imagine paying for street food with your phone and getting your order faster than in some developed countries. So why doesn't the world see this? Because global media loves extremes, either ultramodern Singapore or rural poverty in other parts of Asia. Malaysia, the one that's balanced, developed, and quietly winning, it's left out. But here's what they're missing. Malaysia's not loud about its success. It just builds. Skyscrapers like Merdeka 118, one of the tallest towers in the world. Smart cities like Cyberjaya, built specifically for innovation and digital work. Clean, efficient public transport that locals actually use. Try finding that in half the world's capital cities. So let's ask a real question. If Malaysia's infrastructure is this advanced, what else is the world underestimating about it? Hold that thought, because what's coming next will blow your mind. Part 3. The country that speaks your language. Quick quiz. If you landed in Malaysia today and asked for directions in English, would someone understand you? Answer. Not just understand, they'd probably reply fluently. See, while other Asian countries still struggle with language barriers, Malaysia quietly became one of the most English-friendly nations in Asia. Kids grow up bilingual, sometimes trilingual. English isn't a foreign language here. It's part of everyday life. You can walk into a restaurant, a taxi, a government office, even a rural shop, and people will chat with you in English naturally. No awkward Google Translate moments, no confusion. That means tourists, entrepreneurs, digital nomads, even retirees can just fit right in. So why doesn't anyone mention this? Because Malaysia doesn't market it. It's not trying to prove anything. But if you've ever tried asking for coffee in Tokyo or directions in Beijing, you'll realize how rare this is. It's like Malaysia is saying, we don't need to brag. We just make your life easier. And it's not just English. Many Malaysians juggle Malay, Mandarin, Tamil, and dialects like Hokkien or Cantonese. This cultural code switching creates an openness you can feel when you visit. It's why travelers keep saying Malaysia feels easy. The communication just clicks. But here's where it gets interesting. When people can talk to each other easily, cultures mix. Which brings us to the next big shocker, how all those different identities actually live together. Part 4, where mosques, temples, and churches share the same street. Now imagine this. You're walking down a street in Penang. To your left, a mosque calls for prayer. Ahead, incense smoke rises from a Chinese temple, and right beside it, a church bell rings for Sunday service. Welcome to Malaysia, one of the most peaceful, multiracial, multi-religious societies on Earth. Western media sometimes zooms in on political tension or religious headlines, but step into daily life and you'll see something totally different. Malaysians of every race share food, workplaces, and festivals. Hari Raya, Deepavali, Chinese New Year, all celebrated nationwide. And the best part? Everyone gets the public holiday. Of course, Malaysia isn't perfect. There are debates like anywhere diverse, but on a people-to-people level, tolerance runs deep. You'll see Muslim and Chinese friends hanging out at mamak stalls at 1 a.m., laughing over teh tarik. You'll see Indian families invited to Malay weddings. Diversity here isn't just accepted, it's everywhere. That's why Malaysia's cultural blend isn't chaos, it's chemistry. So ask yourself, how does a country this mixed stay this stable? Simple. It's wired into their daily life. From schools to businesses, Malaysians grow up side by side. And that's why tourists often say, I came for the food, but I stayed for the people. Speaking of staying, what if you could actually live here and work remotely from a tropical paradise? Because the next part proves Malaysia isn't just peaceful, it's powerful in the digital age. Part 5, the digital revolution no one's talking about. While the world points its cameras at Silicon Valley, Malaysia's quietly building its own tech empire. Cyberjaya, known as Malaysia's Silicon Valley, is buzzing with startups, co-working hubs, and remote creators. Penang, it's a hardware manufacturing giant and a creative tech capital at the same time. And here's the twist. The government wants digital nomads. The Malaysia Digital Nomad Visa, DE Rantau, lets freelancers, YouTubers, and online entrepreneurs stay long-term, legally work, and live comfortably. Internet speeds are high. The cost of living is low, cafes are everywhere, and you get beaches and bandwidth in the same place. But here's the craziest part. Malaysia's creative scene is exploding too. From YouTubers with millions of subscribers to animation studios winning global awards, Malaysia is exporting creativity now. You've probably already watched something made here. You just didn't know it. So, question, if Malaysia's building a digital economy this strong, what about freedom? Can creators really speak up here? Let's find out. Part 6, freedom. But not how you think. Yes, Malaysia has certain lines you don't cross. Politics, race, the monarchy. But within those boundaries, something fascinating happens. Malaysians talk, loudly. From Twitter to TikTok, you'll find Malaysians debating politics, roasting corruption, and pushing social change. Investigative journalists dig deep. NGOs expose scandals. YouTubers do commentary videos that would get flagged in other controlled states. Freedom here isn't black or white. It's gray, but alive. Malaysians test the limits, challenge power, and make noise. The result? A civic society that's awake and wired. That means if you want to understand Malaysia, you can't just read the headlines. You have to scroll through the comment sections, because that's where the real Malaysia speaks. So, what does that freedom and confidence create? A country bold enough to open its doors not just to tourists, but to people coming here for something much bigger. Part 7. The Secret Health Hub. Here's something the media never tells you. People from the US, UK, Australia, and Singapore are flying to Malaysia to go to the hospital. Crazy? Nope. Strategic. Malaysia is now one of the top medical tourism destinations on the planet. Why? Because it delivers world-class healthcare at half the price. Hospitals like Prince Court, Gleneagles, and Pantai look like luxury hotels, English-speaking doctors, minimal wait times, and surgeries or dental work that cost 50 to 70% less than in the West.